Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of Vintage NASCAR Owners, Cecil Gordon. Cecil Gordon is a former NASCAR Cup Series owner-driver whose team, Gordon Racing, competed from 1970 through 1983. As an owner-driver, of course, Gordon made the majority of the starts for the team, though a few other drivers did make starts in one of the team's race cars, including Dave Marcis, Lake Speed, Lennie Pond, and Morgan Shepherd. Beginning his driving career in 1968 and 1970, Gordon's self-owned team debuted his number 24 Ford in the 1970 Daytona 500, starting 13th and finishing 15th. Now, Gordon would make hundreds of starts in the Cup Series, never winning a race or even finishing a single race on the lead lap. Throughout the rest of the 1970 season, Gordon made 43 other Cup Series starts. His best start was 4th at Columbia in the spring. His best finish was 4th at Nashville Fairgrounds in the summer. Overall, in 44 starts, Gordon scored 2 top 5s and 11 top 10s, finishing 11th in final Cup Series point standings. Lee Gordon, who also served as the number 24 team's crew chief, made 6 starts in a number 97 Ford. His best start was 22nd, twice, at Langley Field Speedway and Smoky Mountain Raceway, both in the spring. His best finish was 14th at Langley Field in the spring. Dave Marcis made 2 starts in the team's number 97 Ford. His best start was 15th, and his best finish was 5th, both coming at Anna in late summer. Henley Gray made a one-off start in the Gordon Racing number 24 Ford at Hickory in the fall, starting 20th and finishing 22nd. Bill Dennis also made a one-off start in the number 97 Ford at Talladega in the late summer, starting 50th and finishing 27th. Jim Vandiver made one start in the team's number 97 in Atlanta in the fall, starting 25th and finishing 14th. The 1971 NASCAR Cup Series season ended up being one of Cecil Gordon's most successful seasons, returning to his self-owned number 24 Mercury full-time this season. Gordon qualified 19th or better the entire season and finished 19th or better for the first 21 races. Gordon's best start was 3rd and his best finish was 3rd, both coming at Asheville in the spring. Overall, scoring 6 top 5s and 21 top 10s, finishing 3rd in final Cup Series point standings. R.J. Reynolds entered NASCAR in 1972 as the new sponsor of the NASCAR Grand National Series, now NASCAR Cup Series, cutting the schedule from around 50 races a season down to around 30 races a season. Cecil Gordon again returned to the number 24 Mercury full-time. 72 was another very solid season for Gordon. His best start was 4th 3 times at North Wilkesboro in the spring, Bristol in the summer, and Nashville Fairgrounds in the fall. His best finish was 4th at Martinsville in the spring. Overall, he scored 4 top 5s and 16 top 10s, finishing 4th in final Cup Series point standings. For the 1973 season, Gordon Racing had Cecil Gordon return once again to his number 24 Chevrolet full-time. Mike Hill took over for Lee Gordon at the crew chief position for the team. 73 again was a very strong season for Cecil Gordon and the number 24 team. His best start was 2nd at Bristol in the spring, and his best finish was 3rd at Bristol in the summer. Overall, in 28 starts, Gordon scored 8 top 5s and 18 top 10s, finishing 3rd in final Cup Series point standings. As Cecil Gordon would for the vast majority of the team's existence, the 1974 Cup Series season saw him reprise his role as driver of the number 24 Chevrolet. 74 was not quite as successful as the previous several seasons for Gordon. Not to say this season was horrible, because it was not. His best start was 5th at Richmond in the fall, and his best finish was 4th at Riverside in the early summer. Overall, in 30 starts, Gordon scored 1 top 5 and 10 top 10s, finishing 9th in final Cup Series point standings. In 1975, Gordon Racing finally was able to land steady sponsorship from Bob Stott Motors. Cecil Gordon returned to the number 24 Bob Stott Motors Chevrolet. This was the final season the number 24 Gordon Racing team really found consistent success on the racetrack, spending 10 weeks inside the top 5 and all 30 weeks inside the top 10 in points. His best start was 8th twice at Richmond and Bristol in the spring, and his best finish was 2nd at Dover in the spring. This was Cecil Gordon's best career Cup Series finish. Overall, in 30 starts, he scored 7 top 5s and 16 top 10s, finishing 6th in final Cup Series point standings. Then in 1976, the slow descent of this race team began. Cecil Gordon returned full-time to his number 24 Chevrolet. Results-wise, they began to really fall off. Gordon's best start was 11th at Michigan in the early summer, and his best finish was 6th twice, at Talladega in the spring and Pocono in the summer. Overall, in 28 starts, they scored 5 top 10s, finishing 15th in Final Cup Series point standings. The Gordon Racing team picked up a little sponsorship throughout the 1977 season. Bill Ponder became the number 24 team's new crew chief in 1977. Cecil returned to his number 24 Burger King Transmissions Unlimited Chevrolet. Cecil's best start was 13th twice at North Wilkesboro in the spring and Pocono in the summer. And his best finish was 8th at Talladega in the spring. Overall, scoring 2 top 10s, finishing 10th in Final Cup Series point standings. 1977 would be the final time both Cecil Gordon and Gordon Racing either would finish in the top 10 in Final Cup Series point standings. For the 1978 season, Cecil Gordon would run the vast majority of the schedule, making 25 starts throughout the season, behind the wheel of his self-owned number 24 Transmissions Unlimited Chevrolet. His best start was 18th, and his best finish was 9th, both coming at Martinsville in the spring. Overall, in 25 starts, Gordon scored 1 top 10, finishing 19th in Final Cup Series point standings. Junior Miller also made 1 start in the number 24 Chevrolet at North Wilkesboro in the spring, starting 27th and finishing 15th. As the decade was drawing to a close in 1979, Gordon Racing saw Cecil Gordon make 26 starts. His best start was 16th at Nashville in the summer, and his best finish was 11th 4 times at Rockingham and Talladega in the spring, Riverside and Nashville in the summer. Overall, scoring 0 top 10s, finishing 19th in Final Cup Series point standings. D.K. Ulrich made a one-off start at Nashville in the spring, starting 13th and finishing 16th. The beginning of a whole new decade in 1980, Gordon Racing returned to the NASCAR Cup Series with owner-driver Cecil Gordon behind the wheel of their number 24 Chevrolet. Gordon's best start was 14th, and his best finish was 8th, both coming at Richmond in the spring. Overall, they scored 3 top 10s and finished 19th in Final Cup Series point standings. Lake Speed made a one-off start at Riverside in the spring, starting 32nd and finishing 29th. Several drivers made starts for Gordon Racing in 1981. Chris Hammock took over as crew chief for the team in 1981. Cecil Gordon made 18 starts. His best start was 23rd at Dover in the spring, and his best finish was 13th at Riverside in the summer. Morgan Shepherd made 7 starts in the number 24 Buick. His best start was 8th at Riverside in the fall, and his best finish was 6th at North Wilkesboro in the fall. Overall, in 7 starts, Shepherd scored 2 top 10s. Steve Spencer made a one-off start in the number 24 at Nashville in the summer, starting 28th and finishing 18th. Lennie Pond made 1 start for the team at Charlotte in the World 600 in the spring, starting 30th and finishing 11th. Jimmy Hensley also made a one-off start at Martinsville in the fall, starting 24th and finishing 7th. Once again in 1982, several different drivers shared the driving duties of the Gordon Racing number 24 Buick. Lennie Pond made the first 10 starts of the season in the number 24. His best start was 23rd at Talladega in the spring, and his best finish was 10th at Darlington in the spring. This ended up being the team's Final Cup Series top 10 finish. Overall, in 10 starts, Pond scored 1 top 10. Cecil Gordon himself made 4 starts. His best start was 28th at North Wilkesboro in the fall, and his best finish was 14th at Pocono in the summer. Tony Bettenhausen Jr. made a one-off start in the number 24 Buick at Michigan in the late summer, starting 33rd and finishing 24th. John Anderson made 1 start also at Charlotte in the fall, starting 37th and finishing 17th. Dick May made 1 start at Michigan in the early summer, starting 36th and finishing 19th. J.D. McDuffie made 1 start at Martinsville in the fall, starting 30th and finishing 15th. Ronnie Thomas made 2 starts. His best start was 23rd at Dover in the spring, and his best finish was 23rd twice at Dover and Pocono in the spring. 1983 was the final season that Gordon Racing would field an entry in the NASCAR Cup Series. Cecil Gordon made 7 starts in his number 24 Chrysler. His best start was 28th twice at both Talladega races, and his best finish was 15th at Dover in the fall. Morgan Shepherd made 1 start at Darlington in the spring, starting 29th and finishing 26th. Jim Vandiver made 2 starts. His best start was 32nd in Atlanta in the spring, and his best finish was 21st at Charlotte in the spring. Cecil Gordon would make his final Cup Series start in 1985. After he retired from active driving, he would serve as a crewman, first for Richard Childress Racing, then for Travis Carter Enterprises. Gordon would pass away on September 19th, 2012. So, in 416 NASCAR Cup Series starts, Cecil Gordon scored 29 top 5s and 108 top 10s, with the best points finish of third twice in 1971 and 73. Thanks, everyone. Take care.